लाजवाब है कुछ लोगों का मिलना, लाजवाब है कुछ लोगों का मिलना, उससे भी खूबसूरत है इनका आज शाम यहाँ होना। नाम इनका इर्तिका काजी है, वादा हमारा भाई की जरूर आपको इनकी कविताओं की कहानी। Please come up on stage, Irteqa Kazi.
So I really cannot see anyone right now, and I think that's the best thing. Okay. So I took a deep breath and listened to the old brag of my heart. I am, I am, I am. These are one of my favorite lines written by one of my favorite poets, Sylvia Plath. My name is Irteqa Kazi, and I'm an English poet. I write mostly in English, though I also speak German fluently. I have a few poems also published to my credit. Few of my poems have recently been selected to be published in the Indian Literature magazine of Sahitya Academy. I have performed on the TEDx platforms as well, and also the cultural festivals and poetry festivals that take place in Pune. So I'm going to read out 4 poems. First one is titled Letters from Nana. So my Nana has been a great inspiration for me in terms of poetry because he himself was an Urdu shair. I can say that I've got something from him in hereditary. So, indeed. My Nana never spoke to me in Urdu, though he was a renowned Urdu shair in his old age. He never spoke to me in any language but English. When Nana smiled, the corners of his mouth spread till they touched his ears. His eyes became crevices, and wrinkles streamed across his face like sun rays inside a wintry room. Nana also sang nazm and ghazals. Everyone loved him. He walked with a faintly visible bend, like Atlas carrying the sky for eternity on his shoulders. But I only ever saw him degrading from paralysis, shrinking day by day in his huge bed, reminding me of Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky, and devastated me to see him dying of helplessness. His inability to write poems, his inability to sing ghazals, his inability to read Sufi stories to his grandchildren, and most of all, to watch Sharmila Tagore if a song from the movie Mausam played on television. How now to forget his love for his only sister who he couldn't meet after her marriage? They poetized through their eyes, he standing bereft on the street, and she peering from behind the curtains. And how well those poems translated into charcoaled words on the crumbling walls of a building in old Pune. No one now remembers. I still remember his left hand, coiled and constricted, appearing like a frozen ripple on the water's surface. How now to forget those letters he wrote to my mother in the same rippled handwriting? Every fortnight, a letter arrived. As I grew ignorant and mulish and old, the postman did not seem to age a bit. I recognized him from his familiar gait and knock on the door, a pungent whiff of sweat, and I knew it was time for another letter. Until the day there came no letter. Now that I hold his yellowed letters in my hands, they still smell of musk, charcoal, roses, ghazal, and love. Okay, thank you. The next poem is titled "The Koina Starts with My Mother's Stride." So, एक writer के लिए हमेशा बहुत easy होता है कि to write from experience and from immediate environment. So I've always written either on my mother or on my nana or my immediate environment. So this poem is about my mother, but I have only imagined her when she was young. I was afraid of the dark and things that moved. As a child, I imagined blackbirds chasing me with their high-pitched squeaking calls across the moonlit water. Everything comes at its assigned time, she said. I could not go to tea parties because I had mother's fingers too small to hold a teacup or hold a spiked pencil to do math. Mother now remembers her teachers from St. Paul's and how she was the most erudite of all pupils. The twinkle in her eyes illuminates a thin sliver of the continent of moon in her threadbare dreams. She woke up when the first signs of spring emerged. In the hedgerows along the Kars plateau, as she hummed with her father the colors of love and loss. Mother is a seabird, creature of wide skies and distant oceans. Some mothers teach daughters to cook. Mine taught me to fish and fly. Whatever I picked first was mine. Thank you. So I move on to my third poem, which is titled Lost, which also resonates with the current plight that our farmers are going through. The fields are black and ploughed, the cattle flushed and fed, with beads of perspiration on the brow and a turban on his head. He left. Why he left and where he went is a secret until now. His tractor never seen, his paraphernalia not found. No one knew what the mountain god did. His visage, bitumen, a bell on his forehead could not quench the field. He left in broad daylight, burrowing through dead wood. But mind you, the land was still and the crop sown, the bitumen god chomping on wild gooseberries, stone. And there comes my last poem titled Sunrise. It's a poem on hope. Sunrise, which is also a metaphor for hope. With every sunrise, the hollow of my eyes sink deeper and deeper until the liveliness in them disappears, and I am a phantom listener in a world of fears. With every sunrise, my torpid eyes open to horrid sights of man's inhumanity to man. Flesh for flesh, blood for blood, doesn't matter if it rains or floods, the hues of red with the blues of water intermingle, intersect, to form a puddle of water where children sail their paper boats and clap their innocent hands with joy to the way their vessels float on red water. With every sunrise, my pallid eyes yearn to be closed shut tight. I am Lady Justice with no blinds. How now to discover the color of existence, not red anymore, perhaps green or black or yellow, or the color of God's hand. With every sunrise, I wake up alive and wonder if a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. If a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, does it still remember being a caterpillar? Thank you.